What's up, fams? EEPMON here, and you are tuned in to the Late Night Channel Eps episode 74. And today, I want to shed a bit more light on the topic of creative entrepreneurship because recently I caught up with a good friend of mine and we talked about sort of like our careers. She's kind of like me, right? We're artists, we're illustrators, we work in the creative industry, we have clients, we have our own company, and of course our, let's just say, our creative endeavors, finding work, getting opportunities, is not something that's always consistent, right? Sometimes there's up times, there's something that gets really busy, sometimes there are down times, and sometimes, there's a lot of down times where it's really quiet. And we had a discussion about, what do we do and how do we handle situations when things are more on the quieter side of things. And I kind of get it because, it's summertime, people are on vacation. And even my previous episodes, I talked about how I did absolutely nothing. But this comes part of the package of being an entrepreneur, a creative entrepreneur, because we, as much as we love to be busy and be very, very active and uh, prolific with our creativity, which is nice. But when it comes to times where we actually have some downtime, I find that, at least for me, instead of, I catch myself saying, "Oh, like what happened? Why am I so quiet? What's going on? Like, what am I doing something wrong?" Or where you get a bit of anxiety. But I say, "Hold up, hold up." Instead of feeling this way, take that as an opportunity to, like, hey, you deserve it. Take a bit of a breather, take a bit of a break. Now's your time to do some outstanding tasks that you have been putting in the back burner for a while. And even though in your mind it seems to be very cumbersome, like, oh, I gotta do it, but hey, now's the time to do it. Update your website, reorganize your file structures, archive folders or files that you haven't used in a long time, um, manage your media kit, logos, just everything. Like, just streamline it, refactor it, organize it, make some new artwork, right? Create some new works. As an artist, for me, at least for me, like, I wouldn't be an artist if I didn't create some new work from time to time, right? Um, and at the same time, I know you could tell that we're kind of like, I don't want to say workaholics, because it's not that we're workaholics. It's like we literally enjoy. We're passionate what we do. We enjoy what we do. However, we should also take the time to drop our pens or styluses and just enjoy a bit of quiet time. It's not every day that we need to be engaged in our work, because to fuel our creativity, to re-inspire, to re-empower ourselves, uh, doing art and on the computer all the time, I don't think and I don't believe helps to reinvigorate your creativity. Go out for a walk, go for a run. If you can, do some traveling. I'm not saying travel the other side of the world, but it could just be another part in your city. You know, I think all of those aspects, what you call them, qualitative aspects of just like engaging your creative entrepreneurial spirit, is just as valid as actually doing work and working for a client, and I guess at the end of the day get paid for it, right? A lot of we what I realized is that through my 15 plus career, is that one needs to manage, mitigate, and really understand the balance, achieving the balance between um, doing the task that needs to be done, whether it's a project for a client, and trusting the process that to appreciate when you have time to not do any project related things, and knowing that figuring just balancing those two worlds together, and knowing that projects again will ramp up again, okay, and it comes in cycles, right? It comes in cycles, and and being proactive is also part of the package of being a creative entrepreneur. We what I like about it is that I can't stay complacent. What I love about what I do, besides of course creating, is I'm always on my toes. I know that if I catch myself getting comfortable, if I catch myself being complacent, then I'm gonna sink. The ship's sinking for sure. I gotta be acute. I gotta be like aware of what's happening. I over the years, sort of as a bootstrapping, I get better and more experience, and I start to uh, uh, develop the connections of what could happen if I build on X or Y or Z. If I establish these things, this could happen. So these building bridges are part of the process as you develop yourself as a creative entrepreneur. But at the same time, I've also learned that enjoy when you actually have some downtime. So I was, again, long story short, I was chatting with my friend, and I get it. She's feeling a little bit some anxiety, but she's very talented, and she's a very hard worker. Like, I am so impressed with her work; it's incredible. Um, but we do catch up from time to time, and uh, I'm not going to name any names, but she was very. I was kind of like, wow, okay, like, I think she's incredible, and she's very accomplished, very talented. She works with some really incredible talents and brands. Um, but it just goes to show, even in that, even in her world, you know, similar to me, like, when the economy is not so strong, we're all affected. The creative industry, unfortunately, is usually the first things to get cut. Which why I think it's very important to very diversify yourselves. Okay, like I've already said this before in my previous episodes, but for me, like, she, and she pointed out a key trait about myself, and I never really given much thought, but it's like she said, "EEPMON, like, you're able to, like, be in this scenario, you're able to be in that scenario, you're able to be in, like, this and that, and you be able to create, and you could transform yourself. It's almost like a chameleon. It's kind of able to, like, really adapt in different environments. You want to be in the policy side of things or governmental side, you're there. If you're going to do things with, like, national institutions, you're there. You do it for municipalities or local communities, you're there. You're looking for multinational brands, you're there. If you're going to go to engage with other sides of the world, Asia, Japan, meeting with clients, working with the Japanese clients, etc., or worldwide, it's like I'm able to do all these things. And it's interesting. I mean, not everyone can do it. I get it. But for me, I told her, like, look, for me, it's I think that part of the art is great. Like, for me, I think, like, okay, I don't know, like, what, 70%, even less than that. I would say, like, okay, I might take this back, but maybe 50% for me of the effort is actually creating. The other 50% of the art, creating is 50%. The other 50% of art is engaging with the client, you know, going and traveling to the source to meet with people, to do business development, to network, to do speaking engagements. That's the other side of the art. I see the business development aspect as part of the package of art. And in my mind, I'm like if my passion and my creativity can reach to new audiences, engage with new audiences, meet new people around the world, that is such, for me, that is such a, it's a beautiful thing. It's a magical thing. It's like, again, like us artists, we deal in the magic realm, literally. Like, I really believe like we are as close as like wizards and magicians. Like, we create, we manifest something into this realm, this reality, purely from our creative thoughts, our imagination. And so that's a powerful thing. That's very powerful, very magical, and it's a beautiful thing. And if you can meet and engage the world with your magic, like that is such, that's incredible. So for me, I'm like, well, yeah, I don't want to miss out on that. I don't want to miss out on that excitement of like going around and showing the world my work and meeting people. Like if I'm creating art, that's great. But if I could also engage the world wholeheartedly, fulfillingly, that is, and I keep on saying this, but it's such a powerful thing. That's why art is so powerful. It's such a powerful medium that can move people, empower people emotionally, drive people emotionally, right? At the same time, this is also one of the things that most people overlook, because in our STEM society, we seem to be more on quantifying things and really looking at things on a qualitative manner. Art is really purely from the heart. You can't measure that. And I think we need more of art in the world. We need more of creativity in the world to really drive innovation. Yeah, that's a totally different topic. I don't want to go there, but like, but this just goes to show, I enjoy it. So I told her, like, look, and she's an accomplished illustrator. Okay, don't get me wrong, she's amazing. But I thought that I guess in my mind I assumed that she would be the same too. Like, oh yeah, well, you work with some amazing clients. You got our agent repping you and all that. Like I thought that that you would also feel the same way, like engaging the world. Um, but I guess it turns out like everyone is different, you know. So I sometimes I catch myself assuming that just because I'm a creative entrepreneur, then my fellow creative entrepreneurs or art like illustrators and artists would have that similar feeling as well. But it turns out, of course, like everyone is different. Not many people have perhaps they like to be more to themselves and more internalizing versus outgoing. But so so to each their own. And I think I also had another conversation with another friend, and she raised a good point. It says like, look, Iman, you're different than everyone else. I'm different from everyone else. But I think the most important thing is for people who are striking on their own is to find that niche, find the thing that really speaks to you powerfully. Basically, that niche meaning find that sparks that passion in you. And once you find that, once you discover that, and then the next thing is how do you how do you fulfill that as a profession or as a medium to engage the world. So my way of doing it, even though if I could like explain to you about how I do things and how I was able to get my opportunities, does not translate one to one to somebody else, because their trajectory, their life path is completely different than mine. So I thought that was very fascinating. This week has been a lot of meetings, actually, a lot of meetings, and but particularly it was really like, um, conversation, just catching up with people and getting a bit more behind the scenes of, like, how are they doing? How am I doing? How things are slow. Yeah, things a little slow. It is August. I might pop. Are we planning to travel? Are you traveling? What's going on? So yeah, it's a interesting, um like a uh kind of like a checkup. How's getting a pulse of the creative industry pulse. um but yeah, I mean, it's the economy, as far as I've observed and I have heard and read. Yeah, it's a tough time for everyone. It's a tough time for everyone. I mean, just look at all the tech layoffs that are happening, right? We're going through a huge pivot, industry wise. People are talking about AI. Everyone's talking about blockchain. Everyone's talking about, the next technological revolution, of cryptography, of cybersecurity, uh, quantum mechanics and quantum technologies. Like, we're currently going through a major transition right now to the next technological, uh, uh, paradigm shift. Like, we're moving to the next generation, the next threshold of technology. So when these things are happening, a lot of changes happen. But it affects everyone. It affects white collar, blue collar, tech sector, artists. So we just have to hold the ship, folks. I always say hold the ship. Streamline, hold it down, and just do your due diligence. Um, and for my fellow creators, like, we're all in this together. We have to, be patient and continue to, self develop. Like, we have to, lots of self development, whether you're creating your own artwork or work on your own personal projects, now's the time to do it. Now's the time. So yeah, September is going to roll around, and you never know what's going to happen. You know, I have to get ready for the band forum, and then after that, I got to get ready for the 1 month in Japan. And at least, like, for me, like, I have to now, like, since it is summertime and we have some R&R and downtime. Well, what am I going to do? Well, time to really start to strategize and start to, build my itinerary of, like, what's going to happen when I head over to Asia. That's what I'm going to be doing. Got a couple other projects happening, but that's fine. I actually, enjoy the moment when things are a little bit calmed down, like everyone's vacation. So I tell all my peers, all my creators, entrepreneurs, hey, look, I know it's a bit, it's sometimes we're feeling a bit fidgety, feeling a bit anxious, but know this: um, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And this is part of the natural process as we go through the trajectory of creators. It's part of the process. This is all natural. So, all the power to my fellow creators. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed what I had to talk about. It's really about, I thought I'd just give you some insight and some behind the scenes of, more creative entrepreneurial mindset, and getting a pulse of what the world's going through. So it is going to be interesting times. I tell you, I think buckle up for 2025, folks. Buckle up. Buckle up. Yeah. Well, I hope you have a great evening, a great afternoon, and a good morning wherever you are in the world. This is the Late Night Channel EEPMON signing off, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Bye bye.